Oh, hello peasants. Come to see your mistress of the dark again. If you're just here for travel content, I'm so sorry, let me back up. I am a horror girly known for my horror content. I don't know if the channel Haunted Hippie has ever crossed your algorithm, but welcome to my hobby channel. This is where I share all of my adventures. It's also where I talk about physical media. So if you click subscribe and then my next video is like a physical media anti-haul and you're confused, well, then hopefully that clears things up. It is a hobby channel after all, so I am not on my knees for the algorithm gods quite as much over here. I do whatever I want, so I don't know, click subscribe, click the notification bell, never miss the next video, etc, etc. Today we're going to Warwick Castle in the UK. This is one of my favorite places I have ever been to across the pond. We saw birds of prey swooping through the air, we went down into a dungeon, we did a theatrical torture chamber experience. I can't wait to show you, so let me just take you along and I will tell you all about it afterwards. I'll see you in a minute. Hello, I'm back! That was Warwick Castle, but I do have some more footage to show you as I talk about it now. It was edited a little bit out of order, so I'll just walk you through the day. The first thing we did when we got there was go to the Falconer's Quest show, which was basically just kind of a birds of prey show. This experience was so emotional. They have this really swelling music playing and all of that, and they tie in this story about some character back in the day at the castle. But I feel like regardless, I still would have been crying. Yes, I was almost sobbing. At one point, I had to hold up my phone to check out my makeup to make sure that it wasn't all running off. It wasn't, But yes, Leanne and I both were crying a lot. They just were so majestic, and I think that I cry not just at the beauty of it, but it makes me think about these birds in the wild, and then I start spiraling thinking about how some of their habitats are being destroyed, and I'm watching them fly above me, and I'm thinking that's how all of these birds and all animals should always get to live. They should all be safe and free and happy. And then I just start sobbing. I genuinely, like, at one point was kind of having trouble getting a grip. I was getting a little scared because I was like, I don't know if I am just about to burst into sobs right now. Like, let me control myself. I highly recommend prioritizing that show. It's also really fun listening to all the little children scream. And also watching all the unassuming people as they stand up and they're like checking on the little kids in the class and stuff, and then like a giant bald eagle is just swooping directly over their head. They ended the whole show with the bald eagle too, and I was like, this is so AmeriCorps. But anyway, then after that, we had booked a time slot in the dungeon, and this I could not get any footage of. I have a little bit of footage of us waiting to go in. This is right outside of it where you wait for the jester to come get you. The jester was hilarious, by the way. This whole experience, oh my god, cannot recommend this enough. Actually, this is probably the thing that you should most prioritize, especially if you're a fellow horror girly. If you like horror experiences, if you like, you know, scary mazes, you do horror nights and stuff. I will admit though that when I first walked in, adjusting to the dark, the first room is a little bit too dark. I personally was starting to feel legitimately claustrophobic. I did kind of feel like everything was closing in on me and I was starting to panic a little bit. So they do make you sign a waiver that if you have a nervous disposition or if you're claustrophobic, you shouldn't go in there. I was like, I've done horror nights a billion times. Like, I've been in the dark. I'm fine. At first, it was not fine. But then the jester starts doing his little bit and it's really, really funny. And then you understand that the tone of this experience is not meant to be actually scary, but just really funny. Then it starts to lighten up and the next rooms you go into are not as dark as the first one. I think they just do that to get your eyes to adjust so that the rooms don't seem so dark after that. You go into a room where this guy has this dead body on a table and he's talking about the Black Plague. There's this judge chamber, and I'm so mad that I didn't get picked to go up on the stand because she would pick someone to go up there and Seb got to go up and she was like, everyone boo him, and we went boo. Actually, a lot of the other guests weren't even booing that much. Me and my friends were booing the most, and I was like, don't y'all want to have fun? He pled guilty to being from the city of Nottingham and we booed him right off the stand. We also went into a little torture chamber room, as I mentioned, and I don't know why, but the torturer guy was kinda and once again, my friend Seb got chosen to go up there, which, by the way, hot tip, if you do want to be involved, like you want to be part of the interactive thing, it's best to act lighthearted. You know, we came into that torture chamber and Seb was like, ooh, this reminds me of our house. And I think that's why he was picked out, because they want someone that's gonna like play along and be fun. They don't want to pull up someone there that's like shitting their pants or something. They want to have a good time. And they also don't want someone that's gonna be like making fun of the situation or being like, I'm not scared. It's fun to play along, you know? So we got to learn a little bit about some of the torture methods of back in medieval times. There also was a little beheading room. There was another room where there was this whole crazy kind of ghostly simulation. They told this whole ghost story and that was super cool. It was just a really, really immersive experience, and for only an extra like 6 or 8 pounds or something, so worth it for how immersive it was, how long it was, the production value. I could not believe it was only like an extra 6 pounds. I also got to do archery there, which was, you know, yet another 6 pounds to participate, but totally worth it. I was on my Katniss Everdeen shit, but unfortunately, Seb only happened to take videos of the ones that I missed. I actually basically got a bullseye one time and they gave me 3 extra arrows for it. They were like, that was the best shot of the day. I'm not even bullshitting you. I do think that I am gonna take up archery as a hobby. I've told my boyfriend that there are some archery ranges in our area and that I really, really want to go on a date to one. Anyway, I also tried French fancies for the first time. We talk a lot of shit about British food, as we rightfully should, but when it comes to tea and pastries, they kind of went off with that one thing. I was so taken by the French fancies that in fact, I took a little footage later on when I was not sober trying the other flavors. So enjoy.
Oh, the council has decided you will try the lemon one next.
The council has voted.
I'll have a lemon.
I was being left with a chocolate one.
I don't think the strawberry really tastes like strawberry. I think it's delicious though. I'm telling you, they went off with that one thing. Overall, with Warwick though, there was actually a lot that we missed. We weren't able to watch the Trebuchet show, which I think was almost immediately after the Birds of Prey show, because that was when we booked our dungeon ticket, but we just didn't know that ahead of time. Otherwise, I think we would have tried to plan that and do kind of all of the immersive experiences. There also is apparently a huge peacock garden there, and we did see a peacock, and fun fact, All the peacocks there are named Bernard. That's just because why not? We didn't get to do the maze either. We didn't get to walk up and see the view from like the highest point. The time tower was really interesting, and had we been there for the full day, I would have been psyched that we did that probably. But considering the other things we could have done, I wish that we hadn't done that and we'd done something else. In there, it's this simulation of the tower being like a time machine, and you learn a lot of history about the castle, and there are different rooms and different videos, and it goes on. It's probably like a 30-minute experience, and you don't have to pay anything extra for that. We also, of course, did walk through the castle. We saw all the fancy rooms in there, but there was a giant tour going on that we got stuck behind, and that was kind of annoying. I also don't think that I showed in the montage all of the footage of the really creepy mannequin figures that were in every room. The footage just didn't turn out that well, so I was like, I'm not putting that in the montage. But it's very bizarre. I think they're all propped up to kind of give you an idea of how these rooms functioned, to make them seem a little bit more lived in, you know, this is how it really was. These were some of the real people that lived here or passed through this house. But it was very off-putting and strange, I have to say, especially for my friend Seb. He's really, really scared of mannequins, bless him. I had an amazing time there, but unfortunately we just were a little bit rushed because Seb, he runs a dog boarding business, and so he had a client dropped off in the morning and he had a client getting picked up later in the afternoon, and so we just had kind of like a smaller window than we probably should have to go to the castle. I really, really want to go back. I want to see the other shows that they have. I want to do the maze. I want to see all the peacocks. I kind of want to do the whole dungeon experience again. I don't think I would go into the actual dungeon again because that wasn't super worth it. It was very, very small. There wasn't really anything to see in there, but it is free. You might as well go down there if you can handle it. I also don't know what was up with this little grate. Maybe that was like their toilet or something, but I like to envision that a little troll lived in there. Plot twist, the troll was me. That's right, I crawled out of there. I be the troll of the Warwick dungeon. No, I'm just kidding. That was it. That about wraps up the day. I loved it so much. I know that I've totally just blathered on about that, but that's how good of a time I had there. I highly recommend it. If you are visiting England, try to make that a priority. If you're someone that is also doing like the Lord Byron house or Wallerton Hall in Nottingham, Warwick Castle is totally on point with all of that stuff, and it's totally affordable. Just straight up a good time. So I hope that you enjoyed coming along with me. Like I said, there's a lot of other travel content on this channel, but I also talk about physical media a lot, and there's also my main channel, Haunted Hippie, where I talk about horror movies. If you'd like to support the channels in any way and also get weekly bonus content, then you can check out my Patreon. That's linked down below along with everything else, all my social media. But more than anything, I just hope that you enjoyed this video and that I catch you in the next one. Bye!